Good afternoon to you, my guys. Thank you for always coming back to my channel. Thank you for always keeping it Churchier Eve. I don't take it for granted when I have somebody who is viewing my channel. If you're a new follower or if you're a new viewer to my channel, I'm kindly requesting you to subscribe to my channel. I'm happy because of all the love that you people have been able to show me this evening or this afternoon. Uncle, I don't know what time it is right now. I have a guest of mine whose name is James. James is an uncle of mine who is he's an herbalist. He does traditional things. He's doing traditional medicine, and he's also an advisor. He's an elder. He's a Kikuyu elder. And today we decided that we are going to talk about the young generation and the things that are affecting our young generation. And also we are also going to touch on other few things that can be of help to our generation and even to you, my viewer. So without wasting much time, I'm going to ask Uncle to introduce himself. Uncle, karibu.
Thank you so much. A very difficult language to engage. After being used to being interviewed in Kikuyu.
Oh.
So, but I'll try my best. And the friend of mine told me that if you want people to think you went to school, don't put all the Kikuyus in it. Always switch a little bit into English.
Oh.
And they always say, oh, you went to school.
Yes.
So thank you so much for the invitation. I'm extremely happy to be with you.
Yes.
My niece. To cover whatever you have in your mind. My name, as the lady has said, my name is Ngoge, James Ngoge. The elders call me Ngoyoangede, which is my actually official name traditionally.
Wow.
And my work really is to strengthen the cultural aspect of our people, particularly the younger people, and do the ceremonies that are concerning us or have been concerning us all our life.
Yeah.
And trying to be as close to our culture as possible.
Yeah.
So the take in me is, as an elder, is to bring as much soberness into our youth.
Yeah.
And secondly attach them into our culture that has been one or the other ignored and very difficult to follow due to a lot of pressure.
Yes.
From all fields. Cultures are beat up front to back, left to right.
Yes.
Because when you have some culture, then you tend to be, you tend to refuse to be influenced.
Yes.
By external pressures.
Yeah.
And so my work is that, and professionally, I'm working in herbal medicine.
Yes.
I'm a herbal doctor.
Yeah.
And my clinics are known as Mogonda Herbal Clinics.
Yes.
And I purely deal with herbal medicine, which is the closest to nature as possible.
Yeah.
Because herbal medicine is a simple thing. You just pick a leaf, pick a root, pick a seed, pick a flower, pick whatever,
Yeah.
pick a bark of a tree.
Do we have hope in cancer, Uncle?
There is medicine in cancer. Sorry, for cancer in herbal medicine. You see, we have a problem. I don't want to start selling herbal medicine on this program.
Yeah.
But it's nice for people to know in every disease that God has brought up in this world, there's always a herb for it.
I love what you've said.
God is not going to do it differently. He will bring a disease, he will bring a herb for it. And those herbs are here. But if today I tell people that I'll be able to treat you in this cancer or the other, the first thing is, oh, hawa ni wale waganga.
Yeah, true.
Once they use the word uganga, then you're thrown out.
Yeah.
Because it has been sold wrongly. The word uganga is being a doctor.
Yes.
Kuganga is to treat.
Yes, it's to treat. Like I tell you, when I was in Tanzania, when I used to work in Tanzania,
Yes.
you go to even hospitals, they've written mganga mkuu. And I used to be so shocked because I used to ask my, yani there's a mganga here and this is a government hospital. Until now when I was able to understand that a mganga is not the senior doctor. The doctor there is a mganga, yeah.
But so there is hope in medicine. But you see, we have a problem with that because we have a way of killing our own knowledge.
Yeah, true.
Chinese have refused. Indians have refused.
Yeah, true.
They have said we stick to our herbal medicine.
Yes.
If you want to go conventional, that's fine.
Yeah.
Take your pills, take your injections, go home.
Yeah.
But if you want to go the natural way, which also treats,
Yes.
it's known as herbs.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell people that the same medicine that they call conventional medicine, it doesn't come from rocks.
Yeah, true.
You
for
don't make
sure.
medicine from stones.
Yeah.
It's from leaves.
Yeah, true.
But because it has gone through a machine, they think it's such a great thing. Because I'm taking a pill, particularly when they use the word pill.
Yeah, my pills.
Then it sounds like it's a great term,
Yeah.
but it's nothing. It's just a leaf of some sort.
Yes, true.
It's our mwiri.
Yeah.
It's our something else. So
Yes.
it is nothing special.
Wow.
But we need to.
Thank you.
We'll get there
Thank you.
sometimes.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll get there. I believe there is we have a long way to go, but I tend to think that at the end of all, like at the end of this, one day, one time, the world will be the herbal way, because I think there are people who really detest even these other kinds of medicine, mostly even because of the side effects. And cancer is a major issue, and like you've seen, Uncle, most families have like got losses, big losses, not just material losses, but even losing their loved ones from things like cancer. So I think I'm going to get another time for you so that we can extensively speak about cancer and herbal medicine and things like that. So what is this about the young generation? Our young generation, Uncle, I don't know when you were growing up, if you saw what you're seeing right now. Like our young generation has been immersed so much to alcohol, drugs, crazy stuff. Young people killing themselves. Right now we also have about LGBTQ, I don't know what it's called. It's vast. So I think you have something for the young, or what is your perspective? Why is our young generation where it is today?
Thank you. Now, let's look at it from older people perspective.
Yes.
We people in the 70s, we always talk about a bit of history. We always talk about, those good old days.
Yeah.
And good old days, maybe during that good old days time,
Yes.
it wasn't good old days or good time.
Yes.
It was terribly bad because on one angle or one side, our parents were so harsh.
Yeah.
I remember we used, in our family of six, 2 girls and us, 2 girls being older and 4 of us boys being younger.
Yes.
At some point we decided, we had a little discussion between ourselves.
Yes.
6 of us,
Uh-huh.
2 older sisters and 4 of us.
Wow.
And we were sitting there quietly in some banana plantation.
Yes.
Which was our farm. We were sitting there, and we purposely called ourselves together, 6 of us, to make a decision regarding our mother. And we made a complete decision that we are certain our mother want to kill us. There was nothing else. We decided that's what she want to do to us. She want to kill us. Because the way she's beating us, it can't be anything else.
Oh, really? How was she beating you? That's my grandmother.
So
you're talking about my late grandmother.
Exactly. So we sat down with our 6 of us, and sure enough, we agreed that now we know for sure our mother want to finish us because of frequency of beating, and secondly, the intensity of it.
Oh.
And so we decided now we must try to be as good as possible.
Oh.
We knew we can't stop her killing us, but it will take slightly longer before she does it, because obviously she will not beat us every day the way she was doing. If we improve a little bit, so it had a committee of improving our style of doing things to minimize our mother's beating. And you know then what happens?
What happened?
all that, what our mother was doing, it is to stop us being what our current children are today.
Oh, that's nice.
The discipline was, it was out of this world. To the level of kids thinking their mothers want to kill them.
Yeah, and even calling a committee meeting.
We called a committee meeting to be certain that death is just around the corner. and so, what about kids nowadays?
Yes.
They do what they want.
Yeah.
They do what they want. Who cares? You can call them, they don't even answer.
Yeah.
If my mother called you twice and you don't answer and you're not there where she's calling you at, you'll be prepared for punishment. And that is part of what we are thinking our mother is going to kill us.
Yeah.
Because of little things, you are punished. So when we were growing up, we were well behaved, particularly from that meeting that we held. We knew for sure that we must improve. And certainly now we grew up to be different people.
Yes.
Including respecting teachers in schools, giving them all the respect.
Yeah.
Because you had no choice.
Yeah.
And if I, for example, if I got beat up in school and I went home and said I got teacher so and so beat up, that's more beating. Because it means you must have done a mistake, that you get beaten. So no matter how much you're beaten in school, you go home and you the school is okay.
Yeah.
There's no beating.
Even if you're beaten the whole day.
Of course, you say you're being beaten, you get beaten again. So that's why we behave differently. Now, we do have our children now. They do what they want. In fact of them calling, instead of them calling their parents mother and father, we are the ones who call them those names now. Now our children are, hey dad, hey mommy. That's now what we call
Kababa and kamama.
Kababa and whatever else. So, we are part of the problem. We are the ones who are not putting our children in the line to respect authority. When there's no authority, there's nothing. Look, for instance, children before, we used to have time with our parents. I remember our father used to call us. Then he would tell us a story about something. All that got into our mind. Start thinking, oh, my father is an authority on something, on speech,
Yes.
on discipline, on issues.
Yes.
So by the time we grew up, our father was the authority of everything. If we said that's no, the answer is no. You can't modify it.
Yes.
Today is, oh, ungetaka kufanya nini kababa? Ungependa kufanya nini? So what do you expect? These kids go like that. They are the authority. They don't care about the parents. If the parents say you don't drink, they ask why. If my father said you don't go, you don't say why can't I go. That is serious.
Yes.
That is serious. Your father says you go, you go. He says you come, you come.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays, they do what they like. But let's look at this also. Obviously, because of the pressure that is there in the world.
Yes.
And the pressure is from all these gadgets.
Yes.
For example, this thing is taking our pictures.
Yeah.
All those things.
Yes.
Obviously, there are things that we never had. But I'm sure it can also be minimized if the parents behave properly and they give the kids guidance. You know, I was looking the other day, I was doing some data the other day
Yes.
for elders.
Yeah.
And I was doing in the Central Province.
Yes.
And I was doing that on our people,
Yes.
like Kikuyus,
Yes.
because of all these problems about drinking and all that.
Yes. Yes.
And we were trying to say, which I found out, where all this time, for about 100 years or so, church has been so strong in Central Province.
Yes.
No one, I don't think there's any other culture or any other tribe or community in this country that's had more pressure than the church. That means than the Kikuyu from the church.
Yes.
The church went to the Central Province, they put all the doctrine, they pushed the church, and Kikuyus are about 99% Christians.
Yeah. True.
But with all that church pressure, with all that church availability, we still have the worst children
Coming
of
from.
another community.
Yeah. You're right.
Why would you have that? If the church is that good, is that strong, doing their work right, obviously we should be the best children coming from our place.
Yeah.
So something is wrong somewhere there.
Yeah.
We must know then why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we expect church to be guidance of the correct children.
Like the fruits.
They should be, we should have, let me not even use all this English. Let me
Yes.
just say we should have the best children.
True.
From our area,
Yes.
Central Province should have the best children.
Because the foundation is
The
church.
church is there, and we have the best preachers. We have the best preachers, you know.
Yeah,
although
all these.
some are not.
Yeah, some are crooked for
But
sure.
we do have let's say we have the best preachers. They're not talking about it.
Yes.
Then, to me, it doesn't make any sense. If then, with all that good preaching, and I remember even us when we were going to school, we had the church issue. We had the Christianity
Yeah.
taught it to us from day one.
Yes.
You went on and on and on and on till we went to high school. Then what's the problem then? Somebody has to come and tell me what is the problem. Why are we having children going in the wrong direction with all that drinking, with all that drug issue? And you know, the other day, our president,
Yes.
our current president, he said that he's going to sort out problems of drinking. He said drinking, he's going to fight it like there's no tomorrow. Then we got this information, we elders. And we are sitting there and said, all right, then we have to go 47 counties. Then we were told, no, not 47 counties. It's only the Kikuyu counties, which are like 9, 8.
Yeah.
Other counties have no problem.
Yeah.
It's only the Kikuyu county, that is around Mount Kenya,
Yes.
that needs that presidential power to smash that drinking issue. Other places have no problem. You go to Western Kenya, you go to the Maasai country, you go to the Luo community. Those people don't drink. And if they don't drink, they drink with respect. They see an elder like me, they hide it. Kikuyu kids call me to have a drink with them.
Really?
Go ahead, mzee. Hey, unajua, kuja. So I'm saying, it is not all 47. Even in Mombasa, when you talk about Mombasa coastal region having this problem, it is not the actual Muslim community, It is more the upcountry children there that
You're so right.
that are there, and there are many of them, the Kikuyus, the Kambas, the Bra, who are there. But if you go to the actual Muslim community,
Yeah.
drinking or going into drugs is minimal. So our children have a problem. We don't know what we're going to do with them or do to them to make them change. But we have started this fantastic program of taking our children through the Kikuyu rites
Yes.
just before they go to high school.
Yes.
They go through our circumcision rites,
Yes.
where they are advised properly by elders like us,
Yes.
tell them the wrongs and the rights of the
Yes.
community.
Yeah.
And you'll be amazed that these children, we are hearing reports or getting reports from the schools, high schools, where kids have gone through that rites against the ones that have not gone through rites through the culture. And they are like day and night. Those kids who have gone through the cultural rites, they are so good, they are so well disciplined. In fact, now they are the prefects in schools. And I think that we need to do something as radical as that. Get the children, teach them when they're available, and they understand. And particularly when they know it is good for them. You're macho. When you have gone through the cultural aspect, you are certainly better, stylish. And I'm even seeing that in the young people who are getting married currently, nowadays.
Yeah.
You get the younger people who are going through the marriage cycle.
Yeah.
They want something with the tradition. Now, it's a big show now.
Yes, like I've realized nowadays we don't have much of white weddings.
Exactly.
I've realized nowadays they are doing rurashios,
Exactly.
they are doing
Gurario.
koito,
Yes,
gurario, they are
yes,
doing, I
yes.
don't know, in Luo they call it nyimbo, nyombo.
Nyombo.
Yes,
Nyombo,
they have, people
Which
are
is
going
good.
tradition.
We want to go tradition because tradition will definitely improve the situation in this country.
You're so
Because
right.
people are going, they start seeing it as style.
Yeah.
Now that being style is good style.
Yeah.
And people will ask you, oh, you can't do that unless you agree to do ABCD, to slaughter a goat or something. They say, oh, all right, then I'll do it. If I'll have an elder like you dressed this nice,
Yeah.
oh, then I'll do it. And I've seen this now is becoming like what we are looking for.
Yes.
We must do something radical to change this death of our children.
Yes.
It must be done. And
Yeah.
at any cost, we must put a bit of culture, a bit of Christianity,
Yeah.
a bit of Muslim in it,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
As long as it works,
Yeah.
there's no reason why we shouldn't do it.
Yeah. Do you feel like now that you've touched base on that, do you think like, or do you feel what the young generation, currently what they're going through, it's because of maybe the foundations that they've had, maybe not going through some certain kind of rights, and also by the fact that, do you also think there's some frustrations on them in terms of like the other day I was talking about young people finishing school, getting papers, getting all these kinds of knowledge in terms of degree and all that, and they're not able to secure for jobs. Do you also think this alcoholism, sex and drug abuse is because of the frustration that they're also getting out there?
Well, yes, there's a bit of that. We cannot deny that. There's a lot of frustration with our children. Particularly, like you say, they've come out of university, colleges, and they don't have work. Yes, there is that. But when you go out there and demonstrate and allow death and show that you want to make yourself a cripple or a useless person because of lack of work, then obviously you cannot be allowed to go in that direction. Nobody will support you. And because I don't have money, because I'm not working, I'm going to kill myself by drinking.
Yes.
That can't work. So we know there is that. But there's so many other avenues of survival. Because not all those children who don't have work that drink. So you got, like when I was doing that research in the Central Province, I found there are so many decent children
Yeah.
who have gone back to the parents. There's something they're doing with their father. There's something they're doing with their mom and their sister and their brothers. And they're successful. They're really comfortable. And we kept on dealing with them, and we documented them, what they do. And the ones who are going the wrong direction is because they're expected to be employed. People are talking about employment, a job that you get paid by somebody else. But the ones who decided, no, my education can grow potatoes, can grow tomatoes, can do ABCD.
Yeah.
I can go join, excuse me, my mother or my father, my work they do.
Yeah.
And I'll be part of that operation.
Yes.
There are so many of them too. But you see, when you go to the Central Province, you don't see the good ones because they're not lying on the sides of the roads, drunk. You only see the bad ones.
Yeah.
And of course, there are many of them too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I wish you had an opportunity to also show the good ones.
True.
But people don't. But we have a lot of good boys who have no jobs after university, but they are still good and they're still doing what they're supposed to do. But then, of course, we have the rotten side, which that's what we see a lot on the roadsides. And those are the ones we see in the bars or just next to the bars drunk. And those are the ones we are dealing with. Yeah, those are the ones we are thinking about. We want to tell them that is not the end of the world. Failing to get a job is not the end of the world.
Yeah.
There are so many things you can do in this world, and you shall succeed. So it is true. There's a lot of frustration because there's no jobs. It is true. People have no money. Yes, that's good. But the way they are going is not the solution. The solution is to get yourself absorbed in the current position of the country that is almost everywhere in the world.
Yeah. Do you think, Uncle, education is, do you think now that with your wisdom and the fact that you've been here for so long, do you think education is the ticket to everything? Like, when we were growing up, we used to be told, education is key to life. And we all have this, we all have people who have gone to schools. We have so many people who have done even more than education itself, and they're still frustrated. Do you think education is becoming, it's like a luxury now? We can't call it a basic.
No. Education is a must. To be educated, you must be. I'll tell you, I know elders of my age, some of them, that never went to school. they went to Standard 4, like in Solai where we went to school, where we were born. Some others, after 3-4 years in school, young, sorry, they were young at that time. After a few years in school, they completely disagreed with the school system. First of all, disagreeing with the teachers, and sure enough, they got kicked out of school. So these kids, those people are still there. Some of them still alive. They're my friends. But I'll tell you for sure, for free, there is no higher frustration than somebody who never went to school within the community. If you're with the community, with your friends, and no matter how much money you have, let's even put that word, no matter how much, because I've heard people saying, oh, well, who cares? I have money.
Yeah.
But people who have money and never went to school, they're the most frustrated people in this world because they don't even know how to deal with themselves, particularly psychologically in the head, knowing that the head is empty, completely empty. Those people are so frustrated. They want to tell you a little bit about Vasco da Gama. They can't even remember whether he was in Tanzania or he was in Uganda. And he has some money, so the best he can do is buy you drinks. You must go to school because school is the basic of everything else. You don't have to be employed because you went to school. You can do your job. You can calculate your mathematics. You can get your figures right. You can be able to get the salaries of your employees correctly.
Like you can manage
You
yourself.
can engage. You can manage. You can engage anybody in any argument. And the world is about arguments.
Yes.
Arguments could be from anything, from whatever.
Yes.
So you can create an argument. You can be able to win or lose. Doesn't matter, but you lose decently. So school, nobody should say anything about you must go to school. Because school is the basic. It's something that will keep you sharp. It will put you in all the cycles or the circles. You'll be able to argue with anyone. You'll do your own calculations. You don't have to be good in the mathematics. But I'm sure by the time you leave school, you know for sure 1 + 1 is 2. Somebody who has never gone to school is not even sure whether 1 + 1, was it 1, 2, 4? So come out, by the time you're mature, by the time you're 18, 20 or so, you get out of school if you don't want to continue, at least you're good enough to engage with everybody or with anyone. And I'm not telling you to go to school and get some rocket science in your head. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Don't
to
go to rocket
kind
science.
of
Yes.
expound on that because, okay, like here in Kenya, we have people starting school as early as 3 years or 4 years. They go to nursery school and then they go to primary and then secondary. Okay, between nursery and secondary is not very expensive. Okay, we have government schools, as much as they are not like very well equipped. We find that it becomes an expensive affair to so many families who want their children to go to school, and especially after high school when they need to join university, even without help, and sometimes even the help is not even guaranteed, you find a family selling like almost everything for this particular Onyango or this particular Kamau to join university. And then after this, the same Onyango Kamau comes back home jobless after tamaking all like 20 years. Do you feel like after high school, do you really have to push so much, keeping in mind that the job market is very saturated, especially here in Kenya, or maybe Africa in large?
Well, this is a line that can be argued by anybody. And we can argue on the principle of or base of lack of work, lack of employment, because I think that is the foundation of the argument. I go all the way to university, then I have no work. Should I then decide after I go all the way to standard 8, then I don't continue because I'm sure I will not get work? Or do I say, well, after high school, 4 years in high school, then I still don't go anywhere else because I have no work and my parents will spend money and blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you something. When we were going to school our time, let me give an example of myself. When I was going to school, after Form 4, the big argument of my parents was, hutasoma uendelee mbele, tafuta kazi kwa sababu utaweza pata kazi. Ndio usomeshe hawa wengine wako nyuma.
Oh yeah.
Wewe usomeshe hawa wengine wako nyuma.
Yeah, the ones behind you, like you.
That is still even there today. People who feel like the reason why they're educating their kid is so the kid will come along.
Will be a continuation.
And then pay school fees for
the siblings.
Or something, or just make us eat. So, okay, because of poverty, we have such arguments. But the truth of the matter is, if that person can be left alone and with his wisdom, his cleverness in school, be able to continue all the way to university, that kid starts a better chance of life. A better chance of life in case of any opportunity that avails itself than the kid who never went to school.
Yeah, true.
That kid could maybe just possibly see some advertisement in some newspaper. And he plus the ones who went to university will be able to fill that application. But what about the kid who never went to school? You have no opportunity of saying, atuwacha niandike tu niwaambie si kwenda. So we are saying, if the argument is so that I go to school and I'll never get work, then you can argue as much as you want. But then we shall tell you, education is good because when the opportunity avails itself, you stand a chance better than the ones who never went to school.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Uncle. Yeah, I'm happy that you've been able to touch on that because like it is right now, you see, even especially in our political scenario, the biggest number of people who are doing campaigns, like the followers, are youths. And I tend to think it's because of the frustrations that they have. They don't have jobs. So they be paid something small to attend those campaigns and things like that. But just as you have said, like I think it's always also kind of stupid to ignore education, because education can also make you choose some wisdom. You can have some wisdom in like choosing, do I need to follow this? Do I need to do this? And as much as our job market is kind of really saturated, and the frustrations that are coming from that are the ones that are affecting our youth, I want to gather and I want to believe you're telling us there is hope for the youth.
Youth have a lot of hope, but then hope needs to be properly taken care of. Obviously, you have seen what has been happening in this country, particularly in the Central Province, where recruitment of police or the army is taken into that area for recruitment. All these kids turn up like they've been told that there is a recruitment such and such day. But let me tell you, it's so annoying because these kids, 3/4 of them, cannot make it. They cannot run, they cannot squat, they can't do press-ups.
Thank you for my viewer. We had to change venue because it started raining and we didn't want our cameras to get soaked in water. So we decided to come to this uncle's balcony. Uncle has a nice balcony, so we are going to continue with this. And Uncle, tuendele, you're telling about us, you're saying about hope. There is hope for the youth.
Yes, but I'm also saying that we already have some who have got up to the point of no return. And that's a shame. But with the younger ones that have not gone through that problem, I actually told you already that we as elders, I'm sure every different people have different, or the different groupings have different ways of trying to solve this problem. We have, like I told you, when our kids are getting the rights of a boy child, we are so serious in the whole country, in having time with these children before they go to high school, and then indoctrinating them in a proper way of understanding our beliefs and our culture.
Yeah.
Secondly, talking about alcohol and talking about drugs and talking about homosexuality that has been sold by the West in a big way. So we are having a lot of hope, and I'm sure this is going to work, because you might think after saving about 100 people, you might think that is not enough for the country. But it's 100 times 100 times 100. It's a lot of kids. When we started this project of taking the kids through the rights of our culture, we started about like 10 years ago with a lot of pressure. By then the church was doing it, and we decided, no, this needs to be done by people with understanding of the background of culture. And 10 years, at that time we were only having about 10 children to take it through that rites. And then today, last year.
Yeah.
Last year, Nakuru alone, Nakuru County, we had 1,900 children going through that rite. So, and those are the kids we're getting reports from schools, because we follow the schools they're going for in the high school. And we know for sure the kids are behaving so well, unbelievably. They are our ambassadors in schools, and the teachers are talking about it. Saying these kids, when they come here, they're just fantastic children. And so that's we want to put our foot down and push it. And all the other people do it. The church do it. Everybody does it. And so at the end of the day, there's hope in our children. But we can't just sit there and say, oh, I think it's going to work. It's not going to work unless we do something about it.
Yes.
And we are, all of us. Parents do something about it. We as a cultural people do something about it. The church do something about it. Everybody do it. And at the end of the day, we're going to succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something very important you mentioned. As we are closing, I would like you to kind of touch base on it too. You mentioned something about culture, and it's also like I'm also waking up to it, and I think, or I believe that when we were growing up, we used to see like traditions being carried out, like, okay, not those stupid, like, you know, there are those ways we used to see, like there are things you can't tell your father, there are things you can't tell your mama. There's a way you can't dress. There are places you can't visit, you know, tradition, things like those. And I think what you've tried to show us is like there's a way where the river detoured, and I think that is now where now it's affecting our youth, because like you've said, like me speaking in Kikuyu, I think my Kikuyu will be mixed with a lot of Swahili, and it's because we've not grown in those cultures, we've not grown in those traditions, and maybe when we were growing up, we were in urban centers already. So when you say people need to go back to their roots, I think that's something that really needs to be looked at, because Central Province, for sure, we have a drinking nation there. Our young generation, I think 99% of them are coming from Central Province. We find them wako kila mahali, like all over. Like there are those even being carried by rain, and they don't even know themselves. So I think you can touch something on that.
Thank you. I think what we need to seriously consider is how far do we take our culture? How far? Or how far have we lost it? Because it is in the people's minds that when the Mzungu came in this country, which was just about 150 years or something like that, years ago, Mzungu made sure he will crush the Kikuyu's culture. And the Kikuyu culture was not just culture, it also had religion in it. Mm-hmm. So it's Kikuyu's beliefs and the Kikuyu's culture. That is how we do our things and how we pray. How do we worship? Who is our God? And I think that is a subject that people must fight about. Who was the Kikuyu God? How did we worship? How did we pray? How did we do our traditions like dances? Do you know Mzungu actually stopped Kikuyu singing?
Oh.
They said, no, you can't sing in Kikuyu.
Oh.
When I was in school, I could not speak Kikuyu. When I got to standard 4, it was mandatory to speak English. If you spoke in the Kikuyu, you were given something they call monitor, a little disc.
Yeah.
And the disc went around till the last person in the evening, and then it was retraced back, and you were lined up for beating whoever spoke in Kikuyu. Anyway, let's talk about that. So we are starting to look at this thing Where did we lose our direction? At what stage? We lost our direction at the stage of losing our beliefs, our worship, our prayers, and secondly, our culture. That's the point. People keep on talking about all the stories, but that is how. A person without his culture, a person without his God, a person without his place of worship, then he's a nobody. And that's what the Muzungu did, straightforward. He knew if he killed those three things from a Kikuyu, it would be easy to colonize his mind and to colonize his body. And simply he did, he said, if we catch you praying under a mogumo tree, if we catch you, a mogumo is a fig tree, if we catch you praying under a mogumo tree, you go to jail. And they did exactly that. They caught you, they took you to jail. So, one, we left the way we used to pray. So you are given a different angle of praying, a different matter, which there's nothing wrong with it. But there was nothing wrong if we prayed that way and there was another way of doing it differently. Secondly, and I'm saying this as a Christian, I understand. Then secondly, you cannot do this dance, you cannot kill this goat, you cannot have it this way, it must be stopped. So our culture was stopped. Today, for the last about, I think the Muzungu became very strong at about 1920, about there. That's when he put his foot down and say, we're going to kill the Kikuyu's culture, we're going to kill Kikuyu religion. If you look at from 1920 to now, because we started talking about our culture recently, just about 15 years, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All the other time before, which is about 100 years ago, the Kikuyu had nowhere to air their views like the way I'm doing it now.
Yeah, true.
All the other communities in the country went ahead with their culture. They didn't change.
Yeah, true.
The Muzungu was not interested in Luo people, he was not interested in the Kalenjin, was not interested through Kanads. He didn't care. The Maasais can do what they like. Today, this is what amazes me, and I'll tell you this without any doubt. I have gone to Western Kenya to bury parents of my friends who are doctors. We always go to bury our friends or whatever, or maybe our friend dies, we go. And in my group there is all people. There is Kisis, there's Kalenjins, I have gone to so many Western Kenya burials. And this is amazing. There is not a single church that does the final burial right.
Really?
They go up to the point of sasa mukule chakula, alafu muende salama. And the body is still lying somewhere at the back there.
Really?
Yes. In the evening, at about 6:30, just before the darkness turns in, the in charge of burial of that community comes along to bury their person.
Like for sure.
The church
just gets to the level of...
The church gets all this excitement about it. He was a member of the church. He was whatever it is. He was a teacher. He was a principal in some school. All that story is done by the church, and there's music. And they dance. They sing. Then, boom, stop, 6:30. Now, the real experts, the elders come. Some of them smoking pipes. They also smoke cigarettes inside out. The fire is in the mouth and
You actually saw that?
Not so, I see it all the time. I go to burials, like they come to our central province. We have a club, that we are groups, that we have members, and we attend in the
we attend.
And they come to our place in the central province, including in Nakuru. When they come, we take them all the way to the burial point.
Yes.
Ours is open because we are Kikuyus.
Yes.
They bury their burials. There's a ring. You don't go past there. You eat your chicken and go back home. This thing will be taken care of by 6:30. And there's some guys who just turn up ready to do it. They come out there. Whatever they do, they maybe dress the dead or make him wake up a little bit. They have a final chat with him. Who knows? I think they do. I think they have the final word before, which is not public, is for them. But I'm saying cultures of those people is still there.
Yeah, true. It's vivid.
Ours is not there. Can you imagine a Kikuyu, an elder like me, decides he wants to bury his father without the church?
Hey.
And if my children buries me without the church, they'll be beaten like there's no tomorrow.
True.
By the community.
They'll be called things.
Yeah, they are shaitani.
Eniguo.
Hawa shetani wamezika baba yao.
Yeah,
Na
they
shetani
didn't
wao.
even involve the church.
So that's a very simple example, but a very serious one.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it with my eyes. And I've been there. Now, not only one person. In fact, if I told you how many burials I've gone in Western Kenya, there's so many of them. And that's how they do it. That's something simple. So I'm saying, why can't we be allowed to have a bit of our culture with the church? Because those people are Christians. I'm not saying they left the church. They are with the church.
Yeah, they are.
But it comes a point where they say, church, thank you, go home.
Traditions come
He
in.
turns in. Now we're in charge. And do their thing. And they don't do it like Shaitani. I hate to say Satan because I don't even understand who he is. But I'm just saying Shaitani. They don't have Shaitani. They do it with their gods correctly. Something they've done for millions of years. They're not faking anything. They're just doing it right.
I'm so grateful, Uncle. I think in the next session we are going to have after this, I want us to discuss about church and tradition. Like the fine line or the thin line between church and tradition. So I think we are going to get a venue for this and then we are going to discuss it. But for the time being, thank you so much. You've been an amazing guest. At the same time, you're my uncle, but the way you've taken me through this, you've opened my eyes to so many things. That's why I've even found another topic inside this topic of like the thin line between church and traditions, which I'm sure, Uncle, you're going to walk me through.
No problem.
So my guests, for this session, we are going to cut it off as it is right now. Thank you so much again for always keeping it church ya Eve. Until next time, tuonane tena. God bless you. Bye-bye. Love you so much. Subscribe to my channel. Bye.